All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for your Lion April, episode 22. Okay, guys.
Finale.
This is the finale.
Yep.
I've had a little break in between this and the last episode, so my emotions should be primed and not necessarily going to immediately fall into ashes and dust and destruction, but I think I figured something out, guys. I figured something out about this show. I know why it's called July and April.
Why?
Because the whole thing of Kaori from the beginning was a lie. She's like, friend A,
Friend
A, yeah. And that was the lie. That was the lie.
That is an interesting theory.
Yeah.
I guess we should see this episode.
Yeah. I'm ready. But fair warning, this show tends to emotionally destroy me. So
Really?
yeah, if that's what you're here for, well then great. But if you're not here for that, well, good luck.
What are you doing here? How did you get this far?
Yeah. All right, guys. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Symphony.
All right, guys, we're going to start the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Yeah, we have to release our symphonies. Symphony. Symphony. We go to the photo whichever does what's this side of the series. Yeah. Oh goody may goody may goody may goody may goody may goody may goo. Isuma higo anigo de yo so yo ga no no mena de dagi ne ga na li le ni na li yo na na da 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 do Igaga sayana symphony Nagai yo symphony do da 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 do da da do da 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 do da 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 no re mi fa se ara di da symphony.
Okay. Yeah, who says that anime 3D can't look good? Like
Piano.
Yeah.
The different relationships that they all have as fellow musicians versus friends, you know?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. And you. Whoa, connection. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Oof. Oh, music.
Yep.
Oh. Whew. From the opening. Okay. I love this music, but I kind of want to get the story moving so I don't have to sit here in agony waiting. Like... He's like, lend her my energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whoa. Oh, he's the angel of spring, and only in his mind's eye, in his imagination, is she even there? With the pink highlights around everything, him realizing this is it. Oh, yeah. Ah. Wow.
I know. It's just, yeah.
Oh, my heart.
It's too amazing.
All the colors.
Yep.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah. And the sun starts to set.
Mm-hmm. The color starts to fade.
Mm-hmm.
The
Just
playing
like in the
starts to
ending.
slow. This is the water that she's going to end up lying down in. like in the ending. And she fades. Yep. Okay, Caleb. Okay. You knew this was coming. Wow. Oh, what music!
Yeah, the music and the
Wow.
animation and everything, it looks too gorgeous, but then...
Yep. It's from the opening. Yeah. Wow. The show decided to not have anything really showing her death, you know?
Nope.
Just, it happened. And
Yep.
Time
Moves on.
moves on. And then now it's spring again.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a full year. Huh. It's come full circle. Now he sees the cat instead of her. He still hasn't opened the letter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I don't know if I would have the heart to... Okay, here we go. Knew it. I knew it.
Yep.
I knew it. I knew it. I freaking knew it. Yep. Wait, that little girl to the other side was Kaori this whole time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I called it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Good call.
Yep.
Good call.
Freaking knew it. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How cruel is that to make me laugh in this instance here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice transition.
Mm-hmm.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Mm. picture. Oh. Oh. Arigato. Oh. Wait.
That was the picture.
Yeah. So she snuck basically a picture with him in the background,
Or it
she
just
took a
happened by
picture with a
chance.
friend and he just happened to be behind.
Yeah.
Now they have the ending with just a in memoriam,
Yeah. Yep.
bit as if to
Yeah.
make this.
Yeah, they did both endings because they needed. Because one just wouldn't be enough.
Oh. Jeez.
Yeah. I love that they have this be like still the second ending, but like a different part of it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh.
Or it's just it's more of an instrumental with like just the guitar.
Yeah.
Like they don't have any other strings or other instruments involved, so it's more like a personal song from one musician to another. Okay. Yeah. Good show.
Yeah.
Good show.
Good job for putting that last piece together. Right before the end.
Yeah, I always wondered what the show's name meant, and it just seemed to make sense as we grew closer and closer to the end, because I was like, there's so much that they have to explain and let us know about what was going on inside her head the whole time, and they just decided, let's just have this letter be a way to explain the backstory. And I'm not even really happy or proud about calling the backstory too, because like the minute she came running into her her mom and dad's bakery, and she's like, "Hey, I need a violin. I want to play." I was like, why? Why do you got to do this? Because the thing is that you can look at this and go, look at the time they had together, and that was a special time. But the funny thing is that because of the time they didn't have together, she was able actually to be in a place where she could live like those those last days were her her last. It was the path that set her on that, and then of course it was also her own choice as well, like a combination of that too. To then decide to stop worrying about the future, and in some ways it was basically that she said, I know I'm gonna die. I know that's going to happen. So I might as well enjoy this while I can. And yet, all that time, I can't think about what ifs in this instance here, but it's like it's so painful because it's
because it's like all things considered, this turned out pretty well, right? She was able to really live in her as she came towards the end, but at the same time it's like, and she was able to tell him in the letter and everything, and communicate some of how much his life has impacted her and all that. But but still, it's like, if only she had been able to just tell him earlier, right?
Yeah. And here we are at the other end of things, and she's gone, and Kosei is going to be okay, and Tsubaki is essentially confessed to him, and they're going to move on, and she's going to be remembered.
Yep. Yeah.
And in a way, it's the happiest realistic ending that we could get. But that's it. There's no change. There's no miracles. There's no...
Well, there is and there isn't. Like,
well, obviously, Jacob, I'm talking about how this was the best ending we could get, and it's still breaking my heart.
Yep.
Because,
yeah.
I really wonder, though. I think I'm able to get over the emotional heaviness right now, but I really wonder on rewatch if this episode actually feels like one of the best episodes, or if it actually feels like one of the episodes where you wish it had been done slightly different because of how much nuance and cool things are going on, because of the context this episode gives, and the other episodes, that it makes those other episodes that much more impactful.
Exactly. This story, probably the first story that did this to this extent, where as soon as I finished this episode, I immediately wanted to start over, because it's something where the hints and everything were all there, and you caught on to most of them,
Most of them, yeah.
But it's the idea that with one simple little reveal, this is in my mind how to do a proper plot twist, because it's one of those things that absolutely makes sense, and something was missing without it, right?
Yeah, it's just that, would we have rather not had the plot twist at all in order to basically have little sprinklings of essentially the twist given throughout, so it's then like, instead of one big thing that wasn't really
at the very
twist
end, right? Because by that point it's like, okay, and
I'm not saying that this show should try to be less predictable than it already was. What I'm trying to say is that the show basically kept us waiting all this time. And I think that verbiage is so funny to say, because that's basically the whole point of the show.
Right. And it's because it's that's why I love this show so much, because the whole idea of like, why couldn't we have known sooner? Yeah, wouldn't that have been great? And all those times where there's something that might not be as extreme of a situation as this, but something where for whatever reason we're scared or something, we wait. Right? We don't do something right away, even though we should, because we're scared.
Yep.
And once we finally rack up the courage to do it, there's just this feeling of, why didn't I do that years ago?
Yeah. From 5 years old.
And that is one of my favorite aspects about it, because here's the thing. One of my biggest takeaways from this is not the fact that she always liked Kosei.
Right.
Because that's just, awesome.
Sure.
But it's how Kosei's actions changed her life. And the fact that if we look at how Kosei was at that moment, right?
Mm-hmm. That was his only really happy moment.
That was his only really happy moment. Yeah, that was just him. That in the Lian Li cover for this song, or for this show, that it's a medley of like all the openings and endings.
Okay.
There's this line that's, "Don't you know you have a little magic in you?" I think I mentioned that in one of the earlier episodes, but that's one of my favorite lines, and I feel like that encapsulates it so well, because it's this idea that there was this little spark of magic in Kosei, right? And it affected so many people. There were the people that we saw how it affected them, and then there were the people that we didn't see how it affected them, right? But that effect completely changed their lives because of a chance encounter, right? And then as a result of that, when Kosei is in the darkest depths of his despair, that person whose life was completely changed comes back and helps him. And they help him when they're in a situation where they should not at all be thinking about how to help others. Like, or you could not at all expect them to, because they're already dealing with so much. But the fact that what he did was able to touch Kaori's heart at such a young age, that was what helped her, go through all the crazy crap that she had to deal with. The fact that she was on borrowed time. And it's the whole thing that, you said of the connected and connections and stuff, that's what it really is. And it's not one way. That's the main thing, because they could have done this story and they could have had it be all about how Kaori basically comes in and helps Kosei when he's down, and she's just a perfect angel, and then she dies, and it's really sad because she was too perfect for this world or whatever. But no, she was not perfect. She made a bunch of mess ups. I do not think her thing of hiding it was necessarily the best idea. But hey, can you blame her, right? And all the times when she support me in this hour when I'm about to lose heart, right? All those moments take on more meaning as the show goes on and you realize she's about to die, but then they take on even more meaning once you realize that in a lot of ways the reason she hasn't given up already is because of him. Yeah. And he has no idea. Yeah. It's the fact that the little things that you do, it might mean nothing to you. Yes. But that doesn't mean it doesn't mean the world to someone. Yeah. Oh. And if that's not inspiring on a whole other level, to just live. Yeah. Because there will be people who will never forget you. You will reach people. It might not be who you think, and it might not be in a way that you imagine. But you will. Yeah. And
it's insane. It's something that the story, I think, takes and pulls everything about it up because of it. So saying, I'm not getting my words right, but basically saying that the message of the story elevates the story to grander places because it encapsulates that message so well. And it's something where, we talk a lot about passion on this channel. And something about passion is that people see it and interpret it differently. Yeah. So just because your passion is something that might be marred with, trauma or abuse or some kind of hardship or whatever, it doesn't matter, because as long as you're willing to express that passion, even if it's flawed, even if it's a deceitful passion like Kaori's, it's going to change people. It's going to bring about something that will leave a lasting impact on others. And I'm not necessarily saying that like it's just always going to be super impactful, but that it can, and it most likely will, especially in a positive way. Right.
But a lot of times you won't see it.
Most of the time you will not see it.
Oh,
yeah. So okay, I can talk now. Okay. Right. I say that, I start coughing. This show's really good. The thing about this episode that I think resonated with me the most was that she had her awakening, so to speak, to music alongside all the other characters, but decided to then take that one encounter and focus solely on, basically, a new desire to play music from that. Okay. Yeah. You take that to Emmy, And Emmy basically drove it directly towards Kosei and, to compete and to be better than him. The thing is, Kaori took it, then went and grabbed a violin. So here's something that I think is just needless extrapolation.
Okay. No,
but I think it might be kind of fun. Kaori took basically the inspiration, not the visual, not the actual thing that she saw. She took the inspiration of it, and like imbibed it. Now, when she came running back to her parents, she had already decided, however, that it would be violin. Why? You know why? I think that there's something in the I think there's something in the heart of a child. I think there's something in the heart of a young child where they can identify the going after the dream, basically the passion, the creativity, and all that good stuff. And yet they aren't at that like rational critical thinking level where they then go, this is something I can or can't do.
Right.
So why she picked violin, I think, is probably one of the biggest mysteries. But the funny thing is that in some ways, if she had picked piano, she would probably never have had this same experience with Kosei.
Probably not.
Now, I'm telling you this because if she had picked literally any other instrument, she wouldn't have been able to be his accompanist.
Or he would
have been able to be her accompanist.
Yeah,
Now, I think at 5 years old, she doesn't understand that violinists and pianists accompany each other in these types of concerts because this was not that type of concert.
Right. Although she at least knew that to some degree because she knew that she wanted him to play the piano for her.
Now, that's definitely a thing, but I would say this is something that separates her from Emmy. Emmy wanted to be basically
be like
Kosei. And I think Kaori wanted to be with Kosei. And I don't know if we can actually extrapolate and say that she knew that wanting to play the violin meant that she would get a higher chance of playing with Kosei. Can you say that is possible?
I would say that's definitely possible.
Okay.
Because I mean, two pianists could play together for like a duet, like what Kosei and Aiza's sister did. But but you know that's
but
less likely.
I think there's also another layer to it in that she immediately in her mind, and this is something that I think relies to that. Circulates back to Kosei's development with regards to self-confidence, is that at this stage, even at 5 years old, she was not confident enough to say that she can play an instrument that was touched by the person that inspired her. She had to do something different. She had to do something lower. Now, I don't think she really believed this or even thought this on a conscious level. Again, I say needless extrapolation. But I think that the story demands it basically because it's non-linear. But the point I'm trying to make is that when we think about these connections and stuff, if she had decided to play piano, I think her connection with Kosei might have just been basically Emmy's. And it would have been cool, and it would have been nice. But, I also want to say that in a lot of ways, it's kind of funny how Kaori pre-confidence boost from deciding to run rather than to walk through life was basically exactly like Tsubaki. I'm just trying to draw the connections to how she was like everyone in Kosei's life in some ways. In the same way that she was like the mom dealing with the ever approaching mortality of her own existence, and then also in some ways kind of like the teacher kind of slapping him upside the head, getting him to kind of get on with his life and get this going and grow up, and also in some ways like the little girl Nagi, the little girl basically enamored with the amazing skill and talent that he has, and in love with it, and therefore kind of with him. But then also having, I would say, in some ways, Wateri's like playful side as well.
Yeah,
it kind of is something where there's a really sick side of me. This is just me just laughing here. There's a really sick side of me that likes the idea of a alternate universe, Your Lie in April, where Kaori was all a figment of his imagination in his depression and stuff, because she is basically an amalgamation of every single other person in his life.
whirls in, she storms into the place and then is gone.
Yeah. But I do want to draw that connection there, that she is like every single other person in the character to Kosei in some way, which I think is really cool. So, and Kaori's passed. We're here.
One of the big things that I really liked about how they handled this is that, with the other kids that ended up seeing Kosei play, Aiza and Emi, they ended up pursuing music in their own way, right? Inspired by Kosei and all that, and they put in all the crazy work in order to do that, right? But I would say there's a big difference that needs to be brought up between doing that, and doing that for something completely different, where you're not going to, like, they at least had the fact that they are doing piano, so they're going to be competing with Kosei, right? Even if that doesn't necessarily make them have like a close bond with him or anything like that, and they didn't do it because of for Kosei. It was just but the fact that Kaori did this when she did not have much time left, because
wait, when she did what exactly?
The fact that she basically pursued violin
at 5.
Well, no, not at 5, because she wasn't dying at that point. But
so she started pursuing it aggressively and freely when she was dying.
When she realized she was dying, and the this could just be something that's thrown in because it's a very sort of romantic notion in that sense of the playing freely, but the whole idea of throwing the score to the wind and all that stuff, and playing your own way, from what I've talked to with music people, that's like something that you do sort of do, but you also very much need to stick to the score. So the fact that she was able to make those sorts of complicated pieces her own, with her own style of playing, that is not something that you just do, right? Or at least that is not something that you just do and have it go well. So
you could say that this is showcasing how she was an amazing violinist because of
her ability to do that.
Her ability to do that, but I was saying because of the fact that she was dying, that it caused her to shift focus. Something changed in her mentally to where she was able to tap into something special there. I also think that another thing is that maybe that was just to showcase also that she wasn't really that good of a technical violinist, so she needed to, in some ways, in order to have that same experience that Kosei had that changed her life, she needed to be free with regards to her playing.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. The fact that essentially her playing was kind of the same style as what Kosei was doing, because he hadn't
become the human metronome yet.
Right. He hadn't become the human metronome. He was just playing.
Yeah.
So, there's that too. And then what was the other thing? Just the fact that like anytime I think about this show or watch this show and all that, and I know this is not like Your Lie in April is not the first story to do something like this, but the idea of someone that basically comes to the conclusion that, and they decide really deep down within themselves to seize the day and carpe diem, because they know that they don't have much time, right?
Yeah.
That always strikes a chord with me very deeply, because here's the thing. We're all like Kaori.
Yep.
None of us have that long. We're all going to die someday.
Yep.
And the thing is that we can laugh it off like Kaori did.
Yep.
And be like, no, it's fine. Everything's fine, right? But we only have so much time left, and putting things off, not living in the moment, not living life, right?
Yep.
Because you assume it's just going to go on forever, because you assume you'll always have time. It doesn't work. That doesn't work, right? And here we get to see just exactly how it can go badly, right? Because you want them to have more time together, but they don't. And
yeah,
quite frankly, we don't have that much time either.
Yep.
Like, so it's
just true.
It's this gut-wrenching, heart-rending, amazing story, and at the same time, it's this wonderful call to action.
Sure.
And that, of course, goes right along in line with the whole story as well, because Kaori was that for Kosei.
Right. It's something where I've wondered what would be the best example of a story where a character is purely sacrificed for the character development of another. Now, here's the thing. You could argue that, I would say you wouldn't do the greatest job, but you could argue that Kaori was less of a character than an actual, element of the story. Like a plot element, I would say.
and I've seen people try to make those arguments.
And I've seen kind of the evidence of that here and there. But I think that one of the things that this story gives solely to Kaori, that no other character has, that's independent of anything to do with Kosei, or even really anything else, is that she seems to be connected to something else. She, one, is actually religious for the one thing. She seems to be either I don't know.
Her little prayers that she would give
prayers and
performances
stuff and all that. She's either Jewish or something or what have you. But she seems to have this I would say this strength that came from something else.
Right.
And it's something that I always found fascinating, because when they would start to make us think they were, or at least the story was starting to go a little bit close to the Kaori is perfect side of things, they would quickly remind us, no, that's not the case.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, not Mary Sue, not just a plot element, not just a form of emotional manipulation, a character, and has all these other things, these strengths and weaknesses, but then they have something else that's unique. And because that was there, I think that when the moments they had with just Kaori and Kosei together, I really felt like the story was trying to say that Kosei needs to tap into whatever she has. And the thing was is that he was never doing it. He was never really doing it. I think that
he never had to.
He never had to, so that's a part of it. But I think that when he performed here, a little bit in the last episode and a little bit in this episode, he gets transported to this fantastical realm of his imagination.
Yep.
I think that the show, and this is me being a bit presumptuous, I think.
Okay.
But I think that this realm, this just place, it's not supposed to mean anything literal.
Yeah.
But I think this is where Kaori found her strength. I think this is her place of joy. This is her place of safety. This is her place of where she could just, cry and laugh and do all these things because the thing is, okay, hold on. Let me back up here a little bit. She knew she was dying.
Yeah.
She went from, I know I'm dying, I'm going to be inside a little bit more, just kind of do these things there. But it was when she saw her parents crying.
Yep.
That was when she realized that she
this
didn't
is
have
real.
Yes. So something happened. Now, I think this phenomena is incredibly sad to think about. But I think when you realize your own mortality, and something about you doesn't get afraid, or not just afraid, just, you know, emboldened, or you stop worrying less, or all these things, like your inhibition goes away or something. I feel like you're actually tapping into something that's just purely human spirit, just good stuff. I don't know what is. Yeah, your drill pierces the heavens, basically. And I think that's the thing that Kaori couldn't tap into all the time. That's the thing, is that you saw moments where there were chinks in this spirit that she came in with. And that's the thing, is that Kosei would talk in very flowery language about how she was the colors of the spring and all this.
She is freedom itself.
And all this. And I think that you can look at that flowery language and those colorful descriptions and go, yes, that's all Kaori. But I think it's not. I think it's that Kaori actively chose to tap into that because it was her place of safety when she realized she was going to die.
Sure.
So the reasons why she was able to do this was not because she had some innate perfectness about her that was there. It was that there is something out there that all of us, I think, can actually tap into. And who knows if it's a spiritual thing, or if it's something that's just a deeper aspect of humanity, or if it's just emotions on a more raw and real level.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I think that is what makes her special and a really impactful character, because it's something that all the others, I think, at points, maybe just Kosei, but had the opportunity to tap into, or they saw it in other characters, not just Kaori, and then were able to make big leaps in their character stories because of it. So in that respect, you could just look at it independent of the characters and go, that's just more proof that she is a plot point, you see, because she was that nether respect. No. She was inside there. She was accessing it. And Kosei essentially went there. And I actually like the spiritual connotations there, because if he goes to this plane of existence and he sees her there, it's like, of course she's here. And then they start playing. And he's starting to get sad because he's realizing, I can feel her waning. Like, I can feel her energy. I can feel her spirit ebbing away. And as it starts to cry, and she starts to play a little bit differently. And then when she finally fades away, he knows that she's gone.
Right.
And that's that's her going. And I really love the visual idea of having that be the way that the story decides to communicate how she died. Because when they had the episode where they walk into the hospital to visit, and she's just,
she's having a seizure.
She's having a seizure, basically. Yeah. That was painful. And it was painful in the, like, I don't like you show kind of painful. And this way is basically showing...
You could almost say that in that moment, music transcended words.
Yeah, sure. Maybe that's actually what it was. The space was music. Maybe that's where the show ties in all together, is that the thing that she was tapping into was whatever this energy is that is communicated through music. And since music was such an early part of her life, due to Kosei's influence from that moment, that fateful moment where all the main characters happen to be within, like, 40 feet of each other.
All except for Isaac, because he was the one person that wasn't actually
Watari,
there.
probably.
Yeah, probably not Watari. Yeah.
I mean, he might have been with Tsubaki somewhere in there. You know? But
all the female characters were there.
Yes.
Yeah, but okay, because when a lot of times I feel like when people finish this show and they've had some distance from it, right? The emotions have subsided and all that. They'll forget the things that made them feel those emotions. They'll forget the details, right? And they'll remember the emotions, but they won't remember basically what caused them, so it'll almost feel like the emotions didn't have a foundation or substance.
So they might not have been real?
Right, exactly. And it'll be sort of something of like, it's just one of those sappy shows that I bought into, but really it's not that great. And I will forever refute those arguments, because, like, the whole idea of this is a Nicholas Sparks the anime, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
but it owns that. You cannot use that as a detriment or a derogatory term or whatever. No. That is it's amazing strength. Like everything that they did, especially with Kaori, because the stuff with Kosei that was all fantastic. Yeah. But you could have that and have it still be a bad story, or not a bad story, but like you could have it not be a great story if they had Kaori be the Mary Sue, the plot point, the whatever.
Yeah.
Right. But all those points that they show her weakness, and even times when they don't necessarily show her weakness, like the fact that when she was 12, before she saw her parents crying, at that point, she had given up on ever talking to Kosei.
Yep.
She wasn't doing anything. She wasn't, she was not fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was very much a person, and what can you do in a situation like that? Until, she gets some sort of crazy shock, and then it's like, oh, that's right. Mm-hmm. And then she... And this was one of the other things that I liked. I really liked how they showed that she was not some sort of, like, angelic person before, back in school and all that stuff.
Right.
She was pretty much just a normal girl. And the part where she, pulls the ribbon out of her hair and stuff, and the whole, red ribbon of fate and all that stuff, Kosei almost like, feels it in 2 years in the past or whatever. Yeah. That was all great. But the idea that she then transforms almost into how she looks for most of the show. And a lot of times, that whole look that she has, like, helps, like, people use that as attributing to the whole Mary Sue idea. But is it really, or is it the idea that anyone, in the same way that Kosei could have been anyone, and he still had that impact on people, just that decision that she made to live, to really live, right, had that big of an impact on herself and on everyone else around her,
And everyone can make that decision.
Yep, everyone can make that decision. Who's to say? And here's the thing: who's to say that there weren't other people in the audience when Kosei first played that were similarly affected?
Yep, we can never know.
We can never know.
Yep,
totally could have been.
Yep,
probably were.
Oh man, guys!
Yeah,
thank you so much for letting us do half-blind reactions to this show. Because I feel like a lot of the shows that you've seen, Jacob, you've seen because you have good taste, and
I sniff them out.
It'll be a while before more half-blinds, I think, end up being watched, I guess. So that means you need to hold off on watching more Your Lie in Aprils until you let me know about them, so either we watch them together or react to them together.
But this finally won a poll. Like it took a while, but it won. I was so glad it did. I was waiting. Like there were a lot of points. Like after like the channel had started taking off and stuff, where I was like, I really want to watch more Your Lie in April, but I was like, no, I want to hold off. I want to have it be as like forget about it as much as possible, kind of. Right. So that way, when we do end up watching it, it's all a new experience and stuff. Because, like, like certain episodes, like individual episodes, I can watch on their own of this show, and it'll still just be amazing. Yeah. But in order for the full effect, like, you need to watch it, like, beginning to end, kind of a thing, to see the journey and all the points.
Seriously,
where you're saying, just communicate already. You don't have much time. But
guys, thank you so much for watching this with us. We did a poll recently, and the show replacing Your Lie in April will be Ping Pong, the animation.
Total dark horse. Like, that was awesome that one won. Like, would not have expected it.
Yeah, there were a bunch of other shows that were really good on that poll. Did a great job, but Ping Pong took it. And, so that's going to be going on from here on out every Wednesday.
Yep.
Thank you so much for recommending this to us.
And if you need any kind of additional like motivation that Ping Pong should end up being good, apparently this is something I'm really excited about. The person who did the soundtrack for Ping Pong, the animation, is the same person who did the soundtrack for A Silent Voice. You've probably heard me mention a bazillion times, probably in the videos for this show, because it's amazing and the soundtrack is
so good.
So
it's 10 out of 10.
Yeah. So I, for one, am really excited. watch the
Hopefully
show.
that doesn't bring with it its own slew of problems like this show did with regards to soundtrack stuff. But
no,
who knows?
do not speak
Who
of
knows?
such things.
So guys, if you want to watch the first episode, Ping Pong the Animation, right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. If we have full-length reactions available for Ping Pong, they will be there. If you have any issues with it. And any level of support on our Patreon gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us. Also gives you access to polls, so you can vote on shows, transitions, stuff like this. You can talk with us. There's going to be the Discord events coming up very soon. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.